So can you give me some examples of the kind of savings that can be achieved by converting a house to being more ecologically sound? And I'm really interested to understand what's the upfront investment, and then how long does it take to get that investment back in, reduce costs, to make your money back? And if you were to hold the investment for a long period of time, when does it start actually paying you money?
That is an amazing question, to be honest, Toby, because this is really where everything goes to the nitty gritty. If we just take an example, for instance, a new installation of an air source heat pump for a normal 2-bedroom flat, it would cost around £7,500. Now, you can just put your hands up in the air and thinking, oh my God, a new boiler will cost me £2,500. But what you're forgetting here is that we are at the moment, because of all of these incentives, the government is actually giving us money to do these upgrades, and they're paying up to 2/3 of the cost of the upgrades. So basically, we could get up to £5,000 of money to actually install a new boiler. So if we take those £5,000 and deduce and then just remove them from the £7,500 for the air source heat pump, then suddenly we are installing a renewable source of energy, for £2,500. Oh, let me think. That is exactly the same amount of money that a boiler would cost you, a normal combi boiler. So if we are looking at, if we're going to be looking at penny, money for money, yes, it is true. A much bigger house will be a lot bigger and you still have the same situation. However, if you can prove that the house is actually for low for social housing, for instance, you can get up to £10,000, which means that you would be able to cover absolutely everything. If you install a solar, let's go to the solar panels, for instance, something that I am very, I'm very passionate, because I just think, not only passionate because it's good for the environment, but because it's actually putting money in my pocket every single day. You create, you put a system with this solar panel. What happens is the meter, instead of going forwards, it goes backwards. So as you use the electricity, or as you produce electricity, you are using it. But whatever excess, it goes back into the grid, and you are getting paid for this exit. So again, the government not only gives you money to actually install the panels, but actually then it pays you for producing the energy and sending it to the grid. So this is a double yummy, So what happened? An installation of the panels, depending on what it is, it can just vary between £5,000 to £10,000. Again, depending on what kind of house you have, normally you would get up to about £5,000, and then you start getting your money back. Toby, we must remember that we are in property for the long term. This is not a short-term, quick scheme of making money. And this is a perfect example where sticking to long-term is actually giving you benefits, because every year you are getting paid in your money. And obviously it is a specific calculation, so I couldn't give you how quickly would you get your money back. Well, it depends on how big is the house that we're looking at. And obviously there's calculators and there's examples that can be given for that. But on a normal house, on a normal 3-bedroom house, you're looking at 6 to 7 years, and then you get your money back completely. Absolutely every single penny that you've invested. So there is companies out there that will help you understand what will be the return. Yes, there is an investment up front, but that investment is securing the future of your children. Wouldn't you want to give them a better place to live?
And this is Raquel Queral. If you have any more questions or want to know a little bit more about how we work and how we can potentially work together, just drop me an email at thegreenlandlady@gmail.com. Thank you very much and have a good evening.